Hello, welcome to today's lesson. I was going to say I feel like it's been a little bit of a little while since I've done a live class, but today I think is a very useful class for building your vocabulary because we're going to be talking about collocations. And if you are not familiar with collocations, what this means is it's referring to words that are frequently used together. So you can have adjective noun collocations, you can have noun noun collocations, adverb adjective collocations. There are many out there. But the reason why I say this can be very helpful for building your vocabulary is because you are learning the way that people will just naturally use the language when they're talking about things, whether they're maybe describing something, and you're using the words that people commonly use together. So I feel like the actual words that I'm going to give you are not too difficult, but hopefully some of these collocations will be new. But of course, this being, well, one of our normal lessons, I want you to participate. I want you to write your answers in the chat. I also want you to write it, well, in the comments if you're watching this later. It's interactive English, so yes, I want it to be interactive. I want to hear from you. So let's go ahead and begin with the first one. Where is it? Right here. Okay, so this is the way I've done this. I'm giving you the sentence, and there's one blank. And in that blank space, I'm giving you a synonym. So you see the picture, the guy stepping on some gum, and it says, "I can't believe I made such a mistake." So in that blank, I had the word large. Okay, we're not talking about a large mistake. What is the common collocation? Large is a synonym for this word. And then I'll give you the answer and highlight the collocation. So in this context, and I've tried to give you pictures to kind of put yourself in that situation. If this happened to you, like, oh gosh, this was a mistake. All right, excellent. So yes, Lolly, good to see you. Sleepwalker, Vivian, Angela. The correct answer is big. Now, I also saw Takayo wrote huge mistake. I would say that is another collocation. If you're talking about a mistake, probably big and huge are the more common words. The difference would be huge is more, it gives a little more emphasis. So you have a big mistake. If you have a huge mistake, then yes, it's just that much greater. But I think huge is also relevant. So again, you get the idea now what I want you to do. The collocation in this case, big mistake. All right. So the next one, some of these this one is maybe a little easier. Some of them I think will get a little more challenging. Here we go. So you see this ice cream. Well, you only see 3 right there, but it says you can choose from a range of possibilities. An range of possibilities. In that blank space, I put the word broad. So broad is not the answer. Broad is a synonym for this other word, which is part of the collocation. All right, it's a commonly used phrase. And yeah, I think because collocations, these words are often used together, you guys are doing great. I think you're probably more familiar with some of these phrases. Excellent. Lolly, Takayo, Vicky, Gustav, good to see you. So another word for broad, which would fit this sentence and is part of the collocation, is wide. Many of you wrote that answer. You got it. So we're talking about you can choose from a wide range of possibilities. So wide range of something. I should include of in there as well. A wide range of something is a common collocation when talking about this degree, like this range that you can choose from. All right, so I did want to make a quick announcement. If you want to have a wide range of possibilities when learning English, one thing you can do is join our email community right there. I'll send you some cool stuff from time to time. You can be a part of the interactive English family. Send you some videos, some ebooks, as well as like course discounts, things coming up. So you can check that out. Link is down below. Here's the next one. All right, while we're at it, we're gonna just run right through these. So you see the picture. There's an airplane there, and somebody would say something like, next week, I'm going to a flight to New York. I'm going to a flight to New York. So the word that I put in there, the synonym, I just say get. So you're not going to say I'm going to get a flight to New York. I mean, you can. It's not very common. But there's one collocation that I'm looking at. There's actually, again, there are other answers as well. I'm noticing that because you guys are putting some of the other ones in there. So there are different ways that you can say this. But I think you guys put one of them in there, which is perfect. So in this case, many of you wrote take, and take is a perfect response. Take a flight. That is a collocation. It absolutely is. It's not the one that I was looking for in this case. You can say, I'm going to take a flight to New York. That's perfectly fine. The collocation, the word that I was looking for, which also you could use, is catch. I'm going to catch a flight to New York. So this is another collocation when you're talking about flying. You can use the verb take. I'm going to take a flight. That's perfectly fine. But in this context, I'm going to get a flight. I'm going to catch a flight to New York. Catch was the answer that I was looking for. Great job, Vicky Gustav. It's just met him. Nice. I didn't see too many catches in there. I thought as soon as I started seeing take, Vivian, as soon as I started seeing take, I was like, okay, yes. But take, that's a good answer as well. Take is a good answer. I will accept that. The next collocation, the next question that I have for you right here, you can see this picture. Ooh, very dangerous. So if there is a, I don't know, you're in a dangerous situation or just some environment and somebody says, we should go. If we stay here, we're in danger. Danger. The synonym to help you out, threatening. Okay, so something is threatening, danger. I'm basically telling you what the danger is part of the collocation. So in this situation, somebody's like, look, we should go. If we stay here, we're in danger. Which word goes before danger? This is an adjective. Again, I think there probably are some others. Even if it's not the answer I give you, there may be other words that could fit in here just fine. But there is one particular answer that I am looking for. And again, please write your answer in the chat. I love hearing from you. I want you guys participating. Don't see too many. Not everybody is as quick to answer this question, which maybe, hopefully, then it's new for some of you. I see a couple of correct answers. Yes, Sleepwalker, Aika. The answer that I was looking for was grave. So we should go. We're in grave danger. If you're in grave danger, that it's very serious, and it's very, like I said, it's threatening. All right, you're in grave danger. Grave was the one that we're looking for, but there are other adjectives that you could use with danger. I saw some people put mortal in there. Mortal danger is another collocation. Are you ready? So here is the next one. And actually in the speaking course that I teach, we actually just talked about this word last week. So or this week is when we're talking about. In this case, the lawyer won the case because she made a argument. And many of you might be thinking, well, strong argument. Strong argument is a collocation, but this is not the answer. Strong is the synonym. So I want you to think of another collocation with argument. You can make a strong argument. That is a good collocation, but think about what other word could you use in that context. Somebody who is a lawyer, they want you to believe what they're saying. They're trying to convince you of something, and they're trying to make a argument. So strong, it's not strong, but what's another way that you can say this when you're talking about an argument? Okay, so again, I don't see before everybody was giving all the same answers. Now I see some different answers. So you could say, I think a strong argument is a common collocation. A convincing argument is another collocation. Those words are commonly used together, but the answer that we were looking for is compelling. So Bokai Wang, Takayo, Vicky, Gustav, excellent. Jakbinder, is that? Let me just go on right here. Is that? I don't know. Maybe Christiane. I'm not sure. Everybody has different user names on it. So we're talking about compelling. So a compelling argument it's a strong argument, but really gives good reasons as to why you should believe them. And it's like, wow, that's a compelling argument. So compelling argument, strong argument, convincing argument, those are all collocations. But in this case, I was looking for the word compelling. It is a great adjective, I should say, if something is compelling. So compelling, compelling means that it's basically convincing because there are strong, good reasons for it. So this, like if you're talking about a compelling argument, they're giving good reasons as to why you should believe them. It's compelling. The next one, I think this one's relevant in the United States, in many countries in Europe. People are divided along political lines. So the people are divided along political lines. The synonym that I'm giving you, or the word that I'm giving you, intensely. So it's not intensely divided, but what else? It's a common collocation. Intensely is just a synonym for this. So people are divided along political lines. And this one, I think, is one that you will hear quite often, especially in this context, talking about politics. So have some, of course, you know that there should be, it is an adverb that should go in there. One of these ly words. I see a couple of correct answers. The answer that was looking for is deeply. If you're talking about being divided, you could say people are deeply divided along political lines. So if you're talking about people or groups of people and you say they are deeply divided, then they really do not agree with each other at all. So deeply divided is the collocation that I was looking for. But again, like I said, you could use other adjectives in there. Extremely divided would be another phrase that people might say. So, but in this case, I was just looking for deeply. People are deeply divided. So hopefully, again, if even if you didn't get that, hopefully some of these are familiar, that you recognize it when I give you the answer and say, oh, yes, deeply divided. I've heard that before. Again, collocations, it's a great way to improve your vocabulary. Here's the next one. You see that it's a very clear day. It's a gorgeous day outside. The sky is clear. So you could just say, wow, the sky is clear, or there's clear skies outside. But this is a word that would go before clear. A synonym for it would be translucent. So I think that's a big hint as to which word I'm looking for, translucent. And now I see all these answers just rolling in with this one. So like many of you put down there, the correct answer is crystal. So crystal clear is just a way of saying something is, extremely clear, pristine. But you could also use this collocation in terms of understanding. Like, do you understand what somebody else is saying? Like, if I'm giving you instructions and say, do you understand what I'm telling you? Do you understand the instructions? You say, yes, it's crystal clear. So if you say that it's crystal clear, then yes, that you really understand what I'm saying. So it could be used in different ways, but either way, it is a great collocation, crystal clear. The next one, because I have several more, is right here. If somebody were to say, maybe think of it, the context, you're giving a presentation and everybody's looking at you, you're giving this presentation, and you say, I would like to your attention to the graph. And the word that I'm giving you, the synonym is bring. But you wouldn't say, I want to bring your attention to. There's a word in there that you would commonly use in this situation. I almost keep giving away the word, but I would like to your attention to the graph. And the word that I gave you is bring. So I think many of you, got this. So again, in this case, we're talking about drawing someone's attention to something. So this is, I think, a common phrase that you would hear if somebody's trying to tell you, hey, I want you to look at this right now. Like, I would like to draw your attention to this thing that I'm pointing at, this graph, this word, whatever it is that you're trying to explain that you want other people to notice, to look at. I would like to draw your attention to something, to draw someone's attention to something. So I think many of you got that, but be careful, because I know, like, paying attention, that is another collocation, that you're listening. But in this situation, you would like to draw your attention to something, like bring your attention over here and focus on that. I hope that makes sense. So the next one, here we are. You see this guy on the phone, looks very frustrated, imagine he's saying this to somebody else, the person he's talking to, very upset. He maybe does not want to hear anymore, and he says, I believe I have heard enough. And the synonym that I have for you is entirely. But you're not going to say entirely enough. That's not a collocation. But the one that I'm going to tell you, that is definitely a collocation in this situation. Somebody's like, I don't want to listen to you anymore. I have heard enough. And this one, I do think is pretty common. I don't know if I can really think of other collocations that would go before enough in this particular context. But I saw a lot of great answers. Annetta, Vicky, Gustav, Ika. The answer is quite. And again, I'm trying to give you the context to make it easier. If somebody's a little frustrated, they're upset, they don't want to listen anymore, they say, look, I've heard quite enough. And that would be the collocation, quite enough. And in this case, again, you're kind of fed up. You're not gonna, yeah. I've had quite enough. I've had quite enough of it. I'm not going to take it anymore. Then we have, where is it? Right here. We've been here for hours. So these people are waiting. We've been here for hours. This is a complete of time. I think this one is very common. I'm sure you've probably heard it before. But still, it's a great collocation to know, one that you can use. The synonym that I put in there was misuse. But we're not going to say this has been a complete misuse of time. Even though you could say it, it's more common to use another word instead, which again is a very common collocation. So which word would you use in there? You've been waiting around for you've been waiting around quite a long time, and you don't want to wait anymore. You're a little upset by it. So let's see. Okay. I think most of you got that. We're talking about waste, okay? A waste of time. So if something is a waste of time, that you just don't believe that this is important, that this is valuable at all, and you say, wow, it's such a waste of time. So this one, you guys rock this one out of the ballpark. Excellent. But I told you, this is a very common collocation when talking about time, a waste of time. Then we have, think of the situation, this person you see, they're holding their knee, they're in pain, they fell down, and I could say he was in pain after he fell down. And the synonym that I'm giving you, terrible. But we're not going to say terrible pain. He was in pain after he fell down. So what's another synonym in this case for terrible? What could you say? This is a word that you would often find with pain. And it's another one that I think is common, that I'm guessing you've probably heard this before. See these these answers rolling right in. So it makes me think, yes, this one was a little easier. So we're talking about excruciating pain. Really emphasizes how painful it is. And again, that when talking about pain, there are other collocations. You could say that somebody was in great pain, or maybe they had severe pain. So there are a lot of other words that you can use. But in this case, if you want to say something, add emphasis to it and talk about excruciating pain. Is something that's really serious. It's really bad. So like, oh, he was in excruciating pain after he fell down. That was the collocation that we're looking for. So hopefully maybe this one would be new for you if you didn't know it. Excruciating pain. Then we have this picture of a nice little steak dinner, and if somebody were to say, like, maybe you are the customer at the restaurant, maybe I'm the server, or perhaps I've been here before, we're friends, we're eating there. I say, oh, you should get the steak. People recommend it. Another one that I'm pretty sure you've heard before, the synonym that I'm giving you is greatly. But you're not going to say people greatly recommend it. Instead, you're going to say people recommend it. Another adverb, very common when talking about recommend. And just throw out some, you guys are rocking this one too. Sleepwalkers, feta, lolly, nada, muffin, botang, Enora, Aneta. So many good answers for this one. Yes. So we're looking for Vicky, Gustav, Moses. Highly is the word, the adverb. So if we're talking about recommending something and you are passionate about it, this is a word that you would often use, like, oh, I highly recommend this, or I highly recommend that you do something or experience something or try something, and you highly recommend it. So it really adds a lot more emphasis to it. So it's a great collocation to know. Then I have another sentence for you. We're going through quite a few collocations today. So they're shaking hands, and I could say, we really need to the deal today. There are actually two collocations that I can think of with this one. So the synonym that I'm giving you is finish. All right, so I'm not going to say we really need to finish the deal today. You can say that, sure, but there's another collocation that I'm thinking of, and there's actually there's two other words that you could use. We really need to the deal today. So we're talking about finishing this deal. What's another way that somebody can say that without saying finishing the deal? I told you there's two different answers that I think would be pretty common, other common collocations. You guys basically got both of them. So the one that I put down here, we need to close the deal today. Or the other one that I was thinking of, seal the deal. Either one of those, to close the deal, to seal the deal, it means we need to get this finished and have it over with and done with. So you could say, we really need to close this deal today, or we really need to seal the deal today, and it's finished, it's complete, and it's over. You guys did great on that one. Let's do another while we're still here. All right, so here, this one maybe this one's a little more difficult. We'll see. So the picture says speak truth, but if somebody were saying this to you, put yourself in this situation. If I'm telling you this, and I want you to be honest with me, and I say, look, you can tell me the truth. I want you to speak. And the synonym that I'm giving you is openly. But I'm not going to use openly. Again, speak openly. You may hear people use those words together, but there's another collocation that I have in mind. So what would you say? I know. Speak frankly. Yes, you could say that. That also goes, but it's actually there's something else I'm thinking of. That again, telling somebody, look, it's okay to tell the truth. Say what's on your mind. But yeah, I think frankly would work, but the collocation that I was looking for was freely. I want you to speak freely, and you can say what's on your mind. Don't worry about getting in trouble. But you could tell somebody like, look, I want you to speak frankly, and be honest. Tell me what happened, or speak freely. Like, don't be afraid of what somebody else is going to say. And there, again, you could also say, I think honestly, that also works. I'd like you to speak honestly. That's another one. Thanks for throwing that in there, Vicky, Gustav. So yeah, there are, again, like with many of these, there are other words that you could put in there, but very, very useful phrases. And then I have a double for you. Okay, there's two in here. So this person looks, you can see in the picture, very happy. They look very healthy. It says, we're happy to report that he had a and recovery. So the two words in the blanks, a and recovery, one of them is fast, a fast recovery, and a complete recovery. But I don't want you to say fast and complete. Those are just the synonyms. So instead of saying a fast and complete recovery, we're happy to report that he had a and recovery. What are those that I'm saying? So these are, again, words that you would use with when talking about a recovery. So there are two that I want you to try to think of in this case. So what do you guys? You guys are doing great. please, if you guys are getting these, like hit that like button. Let me know. Let me know that you guys are getting the correct answer. It kind of tells me that we are on the right track. So I think you guys got this. So if you're talking about recovery, the first one, fast. I think there are two that you could use. A quick recovery or a speedy recovery is another one, and that's actually the answer that I was looking for. You could say quick or speedy, but I said speedy. And instead of a complete recovery, this is a very, I think, common collocation talking about a full recovery. So we're happy to report that he had a speedy and full recovery. All right. So if you got many of these, let me know. Hit that like button, or even if you learn some new collocations, hit that like button. Always helps me spread the word, spread these lessons. You can also let me know in the comments how you did. I'm always interested to hear how well people did. These are all of the collocations that we talked about today. There were 15 questions in total. And these are all, I believe there were 15 questions, but these are all the collocations from today's lesson. For those who are the members, patrons, subscribers, I will put these up there for you guys to have. So again, this vocabulary, it's very useful. It's very helpful in order to be descriptive, but also, again, just speak naturally, because these are the phrases that are often used when people are trying to describe stuff, when they're talking about just being descriptive and saying, like, again, grave danger or crystal clear, or you highly recommend something. So yeah, I hope you guys learned some new collocations. If you did, let me know. Hit the like button, or if you enjoyed the lesson, hit the like button, or if you like my shirt, just go ahead, hit the like button. Doesn't matter. I just want you to hit the like button. Thank you guys so much for watching and participating in today's lesson. I really appreciate it. I love seeing all of those answers. I think, gosh, by and large, you guys did really, really well today. And even coming up with other collocations. Like I said, there was more than one answer to many of these questions in thinking of them. But this is great, just gets the vocabulary juices flowing, which is what I want. So I just want to wrap things up and tell you I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend. And I will see you guys next time. Some quick goodbyes. Goodbye, Lolly, Vicky, Gustav, Takayo. Thank you for joining me. Sleepwalker, Muffin, Yakbinir, Angela. So many familiar faces. Kasia, Sveta. Thank you guys. All right, I gotta go now. We'll